Bro, it's just like humbling. It's crazy, you know. Like, hey, this is literally where it all started. This was like the genesis of it all. Crazy. And literally, like, I started this pretty much by myself, you know. Even when I landed at YYZ and I like was driving back here, I haven't been here in a year, and yeah, like it was like really crazy. It's like, yo, I used to run these streets, you know what I mean? Like literally just like run around, walk around, try to make shit happen. Yo, this is actually my first reaction at this new location, and I just found out that Rebecca installed these by herself. It is insane. How did you do this?
It took us like 6 hours.
That's so epic. Wow.
Laser level.
Good job.
Thank you.
This is crazy.
There was so much going on in this place, and Vin just had this like vision, I guess. But I already knew the brand from the moment. I was like looking around, I was like, this is definitely gonna pop off. And he brought me, he was like, yo, what do you like? What do you like? See this, what I'm doing? And then the lobby was upstairs, and I was just, I'm like, this is crazy. Here we are now, it's like 10 years later, a full circle moment for me. I'm actually here. And it's such, I'm actually emotional about it because Vin was like first friend when he came, I was his first friend, so.
Yeah, she was literally basically my first friend in Toronto when I came to Scarborough.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so seeing this in fruition and being part of it now is actually, I'm proud of you guys and like, yeah, just everybody. I actually memorized everyone's faces because that's when I knew it, OGs, and you guys are still here. So you know the loyalty and you know where it's going, so. I'm like shaking, Jesus. Oh! Yeah, I appreciate
that's fire.
Thanks for having me.
That's how you kick us out. This date has been scheduled like 3 times now. Canceled multiple times. Shout out to Air Canada. One time I canceled the first one. But here we are. Finally get to celebrate our 10-year anniversary of Movement Clinic to Myodetox to Myo, a bunch of variations over the last 10 years. So many people that aren't here with us today that were critical in helping us get to this point. Shout out to all y'all that were so monumental in the last 10 years of bringing Myo together. Got some OG heads in the room today that all played such a critical role in the contribution of growing Myo to where it is today. I always feel like super fortunate to be able to, just moderate and open the stage for these conversations because, I mean, Myo, for me personally, has, as much as it feels like a child that, I've played a part in raising the last 10 years, it's raised me the last 10 years also. And really excited to jump into all of your stories from day one to where we are today. Vin, if you want to kick us off just with the genesis of Myo. We're here at the Blue Ribbon Sports.
I think it's honestly very surreal being around all of you guys. It's just it's been a crazy road. Mike Mercasio, designed this thing. It's okay, we're all friends here. Just gonna give it energy, right?
Shout out to Mike one time.
Yeah, shout out Mike one time.
I got another Mike shout out too.
Let's go. All right. And this was the reception. So later there was like this tiny desk. I had this giant green apple that I thought would just look super cool. And I'll find a picture for you guys. It was crazy. And then imagine me, I was running front desk, which is insane. I was doing everything. I was doing front desk, I was treating, I was like, billing, doing billings, marketing, everything. This is legacy right here, man. This is like the beginning, So when I first started, I didn't have enough money, so like, there was no lights. So when we got the unit, there was no lights, and literally as of 6 p.m. or 5 p.m., literally I'd be treating like in the semi-dark, right? And I literally would put up a laptop light, and my patients would still like come and would just be chilling, like literally like getting treated with a laptop light and some music. So like, it was crazy. I'm gonna try to keep the emotions till later. You know what I mean? We don't want to start the water gates too early. But it's so funny because even I was like with you guys having dinner, I was like texting Scott. I'm like, yo, bro, like this is crazy. You know what I mean? What we've done. Even when I landed and I was like driving through the city in my Uber, I was like, oh wow, like we used to really like be in these streets, and now it's like on to the next generation of our team to do the work. And I texted Scott that I'm like, yo, we've done some great work, brother.
Scott, we miss you.
Yeah, Scott, we missed you one time. you know what Scott answered? Scott was like, "We're just getting started, bro." I'm like, are you serious right now, bro? Like, I'm tired, bro. Like, we just getting started, Scott. Listen, like, no, we've been tired. Yeah, so I mean, you know, I graduated in 2007 as a physical therapist, and basically I spent like 5 years being in a really sad state. I kind of like was like, hey, like, did I really sign my life to become this physical therapist in a hospital setting or a private rehab setting that with people that don't care and all they want to do is like run insurance mills, I guess. You know, one location in particular I was working at in Toronto, actually, I was seeing like 40 patients a day. So you can imagine for 2 years. So you can imagine how bad the quality of care was. And yeah, and I was like, hey, like, I don't think I want to do this, right? And as luck would have it, I ended up starting to like treat kind of like out of my condo, and then I fully started getting really busy, and then I started shifting over to working from out of my house in Scarborough. And funny enough, actually, Mike Bercasio, who's our brand guy, I actually met him at that clinic. He was one of my mill patients, right? And I remember like putting him on the IFC, yeah, on the IFC, on the pads, and like just talking shop with him. And he's like, oh yeah, like, you should redesign physical therapy. But I think he was just talking shit to me. I actually think that he really cared, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was just kind of like complaining and telling him like, yo, like, I don't want to wear polos and khakis. Like, this is silly. Like, why can't we wear hats and like be cool and have tattoos and all this stuff? He's like, yeah. But meanwhile, he's probably like, yo, just fix my knee, bro. Like, I don't care, you know? And then later on, I ended up opening essentially like a clinic in my house. Shout out to Nancy one time, which was one of my first patients in Scarborough. Patient zero, yes. And now she's still in Markham. She gets treated in Markham still to this day. And then helping her get over her own issues of like, you know, she was like on so many pain pills. Doctors wanted to do hip surgery for her. All these things. And then, you know, working with her, I worked with her for like a year and a half, 2 years, and she was basically like off everything. And that was like, I was like, oh, hey, like we did such great work with her. I was like, hey, I feel like if I like create a space where like people can do good work, I think it's a good idea. You know what I mean? It's very simple in concept. It's like create a space and then allow people to be themselves and do great work. And also like I want to work in a space that looked cool, you know, with like cool, you know, like details. And then I remember one day I started texting Mike because Mike was like, yeah, I'll help you out whenever. So I would be texting him, and then he just ghosted me, right? And then I would roll around Scarborough Town Center, and I'm like running through the malls because he used to work at Fido, so he used to be one of the guys selling phones at Fido. And then he kind of like would like act like he didn't see me when I would walk by and stuff, and he'd be busy. Oh, I'm busy. I'll talk to you later, whatever. And one day, as luck would have it, I was walking through the mall, and I saw Mike, and Mike just like, you know, you're walking, and there's no way he can avoid like this. You can't turn, bro, right? And then at the time he's like, oh, hey, bro. He's like, oh yeah, sorry, my bad, blah blah blah, you know. And then he's like, yo, my elbow hurts. Can you like do something about this? And back then, like my style of treatment was very like trigger point therapy, and I ended up treating him on the spot, and he was like, oh, like my elbow feels better. Like oh, hey. And then all of a sudden he started being like, okay, tell me more about this. And then from then on, that's kind of how the whole situation started. And then my barber, Justin Radam, in the cut, he randomly hit me up. He's like, hey, like I'm opening a barbershop downtown. There's a second floor. Do you want it? And I'm like, yo, how much is rent? Oh, it's low. No. I'm like, yes, I'm in. And then the at the time the technique, which is the trigger point technique, was called Myodetox, because you know I read this article where trigger point therapy, where it's like, hey, myos muscle in Greek, and then you know when you're working on trigger point, it's like you're detoxing the area. Obviously that's not true, but that's kind of like how they use the analogy. And I was like, oh, like muscle detox sounds cool. I remember working with Kevin at this other clinic in the East End. We had a like we wrote out a napkin. You know, like, yo, Kev, Mild detox or muscle detox? And Kevin answered.
Mild detox is silly.
Yeah.
Muscle detox is silly.
Yeah. So then that was kind of like the genesis of the name, and then the clinic was called MVMT for movement. And then later on during that period somewhere, Scott was my patient, and then he ended up joining the team, being like, hey, listen, like I think you should open multiple locations. I was starting to like be like popular on IG, but I had like 7,000 followers. And Scott's like, yo, bro, you're famous. He's like, yo, you got 7,000 people, bro. Yeah, like so big, we're gonna make it, right? And I'm like, yo, so what degree do you have? He's like, I have a degree in, was it philosophy or no, psychology? Yeah, psychology. And like, do you know how to run business? Like, no, I'll figure it out. I'm like, all right, cool, fuck it, right? So then we just ran with it, you know, and then obviously, you know, Boris ended up becoming our first employee. And then I'll let him tell his story after, but like basically we were upstairs, you know, after 6 o'clock, there was no lights because we didn't have like money for lights. You know, we're working on cheap Chinatown massage tables that would break every 2-3 months, and we just buy new ones all the time. I was doing front desk, I was doing billing. We're just like, this is running, you know, Square had just come out. Like the little thing, like, you know, so I was like, yeah, we can collect payments. It's very simple, man. Like the beds that we used to get were from Chinatown. You know what I mean? It was like $150 off Amazon, and we would use them, and probably after like 2-3 months they would break, right? Because they were wood. This is straight up like, this is a Lambo, bro, compared to what what we were using back then. You know, this is like, you can go up, you can go down. You know, so many different capabilities with this table, but back then we only had those wooden tables, like, you know, and then like the cushioning would be like, yeah, after 3 months they were unusable. We just have to throw them away and do it again, right? But you know, there was a lot of good memories from those times, you know. We just made it work.
Some of the folks in the room real quick. So you got Jason, Rebecca, Alex, Boris has been already mentioned, was day one hire, and John, and I mean, all of y'all are like day ones. Just so many memories in this space. Mild detox, the growth, and man, this could turn into a 3-hour segment if we really get into it. But yeah, I would love to get each one of just your take and experience on, like, you know, what first attracted you to Mild? Where did you see it first? What did you first think about? Like, what literally drew you in to want to be a part of this mission? If you wanna kick us off, good sir.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, I just needed a change. A lot of the things like Vin kind of mentioned earlier, there was what I was feeling at that time. I was in a clinic, worked there for 4 years, typical mill. I was treating like 60 clients a day and just crazy, not giving like the best quality care. And I remember just like, you know what, I'm just curious, like what is like physical therapy on IG? And I like remember looking at it, and there was not like many people at that time like doing it. And then I came across Vin's profile. So I'm like, okay, started following him, and I'm like, oh, this is like really cool, like the way he's approaching it, and like very unique. And then I'm just like, you know what, like I'm just like fed up. I'm just gonna like shoot this guy a message. And then Vin hits me back. He's like, yo, what are you, a client or a physical therapist? And I'm just like, I'm like a physical therapist, right? So he's like, yeah, come down and like, let's meet up. So I think it was like literally like either the day before Christmas Eve. So my girlfriend, who's now my wife at the time, like drove down with me, and she's like, yeah, let's take a chance. Let's just go see what's going on. And then I was kind of lucky because I kind of knew Kev from before, and I knew Boris, and I saw like they were both associated with the clinic. So I remember like coming here, and I was like looking around. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where do I go? And then I opened the door, and obviously I'm in a barbershop, and like I'm like, hey guys, I think I'm in like in the wrong place. And they're like, they didn't even like break a sweat. They're like, just go upstairs. So I trot upstairs, and so I meet Vin and I meet Scott, and they're just like, hey, like giving me like a little bit of pitch, like a little bit of things we're doing. But you know, the thing that I actually remember the most about that meeting was it was December 23rd, so like the day before Christmas Eve, and I remember Boris coming in, and he bought a gift, I think for like one of the team members. I think it was like actually for you, Kev. And I remember like thinking to myself, I'm just like, fuck, I've been at this job for 4 years. And I've never got like a gift, never gotten anything. I've never felt like appreciated, right? So I just remember like leaving that meeting and I'm just like, you know what? At least the whole team cares for me, cares for each other, right? And I'm just like, I want that feeling moving forward. Whatever turned into whatever, like we got to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm coming to join Myo, and we were opening up our Markham clinic, and that was like, it was what I needed at the time, and it was like, I think kind of like to all the things that you were talking about, it was like, it spoke to me, and like at that time, like I was that physical therapist in khakis and golf shirt. I was doing work where I think I was not doing purposeful work, and then I was like, I'm gonna take a gamble here and like try to find my purpose. So that was like my first big interaction with Myo, and I mean like you, like it all was like a perfect storm to allow me to come here.
Appreciate you sharing, bro.
Yeah.
By chance, you remember what the gift was from Boris?
I feel like it was
it shoes?
I think it was Jordans.
Yeah,
I think it was like
it was Concord 11s, bro.
yes.
Appreciate you,
They
bro.
were Legend Blues or something.
No, they were Concord, the whites, white on white.
White with the blue bottoms.
Blue bottom, yeah. They're
Those
not
are-
Concord.
you-
Whatever they are, they're Jordan 11s. I remember that. Yeah.
You gave
Yo.
shoes to everyone.
Yo, Morris would do it 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. dog. Like, yo, oh man, appreciate it. Becky G, what's up? Oh, sir. Yeah, Becky G, what was your?
What drew me here?
Yeah, like your first, like where'd you see my outfit the first time? Like what you
Honestly, I think it was back in like 2014. It was like a trainer in LA that you were working with, and she randomly posted like an exercise my physio gave me. And at the time, I was working like a really shitty, similar idea, like that factory feeling, like I think 35 patients a day-ish kind of vibes. I hated it, thinking of quitting, same idea. And she posted something from like her physiotherapist, and I just wanted to get ideas for what to do with people because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, to be honest with you. And I clicked on your thing. I'm like, wait, I think he's in Toronto. And I remember the time you were posting like random, like almost like quizzes. You'd be like, what muscle is this?
Yeah,
and what does it do?
Yeah.
And I like would never get them right because it would be like just like an isolated muscle. It was like some random ass muscle and be like isolated just on a black screen. Like, what is it? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm like, clearly this guy's really smart. I feel like I need to learn from him. And at the time you were hosting those like 5-day like
Training, yeah.
yeah. And I remember messaging, I think emailing Scott in like 2015, being like, can I come learn from you? It was like $5,000. I was willing to spend it because I'm like, I need to clearly learn a lot. And he's like, no, we're not doing that, but if you want to apply. And I was like, I'm not smart enough to go there. So I like sat on that for like a couple months. Then you posted the thing for like the hustle hour. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let me just go. I remember being so nervous. So I'm like, you're like, the whole thing was, you know, like the casual vibe. And I'm like, how casual are we talking here? Like, I'm used to wearing, again, like khakis and stuff. So I'm like,
Pretty casual.
yeah, I'm like, do I wear athleisure? I was so just like, what do I do? But yeah, it was basically just kind of like the idea of like, I wanted to quit physio. Like I actually just hated the profession. It was like, I was getting nowhere with anybody. So I think I was just like, I saw that you were actually getting somewhere with people. And like, it seemed like you had a system that I basically wanted to like learn and like, yeah, so it was basically 2014. I think I first saw you, and then I officially joined in 2016. And I'll talk about my first experiences later. But yeah, that's basically how I heard about it.
Yeah, and we used to put those hustle hours on a Friday night or Saturday night just to see who was down to pull up.
Yeah.
Right? We did it on purpose. We would like make it late just so that like, yeah. So like, oh, if you're serious about joining Mile, you'll like, you know, come on a Friday night.
Put out alcohol, see who would touch it, who wouldn't.
Yeah, all these micro tests. Yeah,
All these traps.
yeah, all these traps. Oh yeah, hey, alcoholic. But yeah,
Mr. Hart, what was your first impression, your first touch point of Myo?
I think for myself, it was a bit of a different experience coming as a new grad. So I was actually on student placement. I went to UT, graduated 2016, and I actually had a placement up in Yorkville area, and one of the physios that worked there was actually Boris's classmate. And she's like showing me his Instagram. So that was actually my first intro I'm like, whoa, this guy's like famous. And I was like, I didn't. He did do it. He grinded Instagram, and it was just so eye-opening for myself. Because I'm like, I didn't know that this could even be possible in the industry. I'm like, this is just different. And then obviously like stumbled on Vin's Instagram and everything too, and just followed along for a little bit because this was like I think early summer, and I already had a job at this place, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be like working at this place, but Maya was like back of my mind. Go on the website, looking at it, I'm like, do they just wear like t-shirts? Like, is that like this looks different? Like, and again, it wasn't like the khakis polo shirt. I'm like, okay, my whole closet is khakis and polo shirts right now. I'm gonna hopefully get a job here and just throw all this stuff out. And so fast forward, I sent an email, and Scott was the one that answered the email at the time. It was like the general like info@Myo or whatever. And I think I had just missed one of the hustle hours or something like that. So I came in for the interview. They invited me in anyway. And I came upstairs. There was nothing down here. I thought it was like I thought it was like a ghost company. Like it's like this is fake or something. And came in, and then I sent an email through my phone. It's like, oh, just come upstairs, come upstairs. Vin walks in, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Vinny Rehab. And so we came back downstairs and did the interview. It was you and Scott. Yeah, it was right downstairs. Yes. And I remember sitting down, and Scott was saying, it's like, yeah, we actually just interviewed one of your classmates. Like, we're not hiring new grads. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then it got to the end of the interview, and Vin just gave like a nudge to Scott. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. And I was like, yo, this guy's legit.
Yeah.
And
then the rest was history. And then I think I started working like 4 or 5 weeks later, or whatever it was. So it was crazy. So.
Yeah, and we literally had a rule where we don't hire new grads because new grads don't understand like how great it is to work at Myo to be. You know,
I followed that rule for a while.
right?
I would
Yeah,
hire a new grad for
yeah,
so
because
long.
you have to kind of go in like what the rest of the world looks like in order to appreciate Myo. But some people they start here, and then in our experience, people would like quit and be like, oh yeah, like these guys don't care or whatever it is that their reasoning was, and then that's the rule. But then when Alex came, he just interviewed so well, and we're like, no, we're gonna take a chance on this guy, right? And obviously now, here we are. Yeah.
Boris, hi. Mr. Hire number 1, take us back, sir. What was your first interaction?
That brought me to Myo, or my first memory?
That brought you to Myo. Yeah, your first interaction, where you saw it, what drew you in?
Kind of hard to say because I think the thing was everything was happening in real time, and Vin would just be the ultimate hype man. He would just be like, "We're gonna change the industry. We're gonna be doing restaurants and rehab." I'm like, okay. And he'll say stuff like, okay, yo, we're gonna be IG famous. I would be like, okay. And along the way, you know, the thing that Vin emphasized the most was that he was just sick and tired of doing ultrasound and like machines on people. And when I came out of school, I thought, yeah, like we shouldn't be doing that. And then he would be doing manual therapy on people and essentially like realigning their posture. And I said, okay, I'm down. So I think at that point, everything that Vin was trying to figure out of what Myodetox was, he didn't even know. So everything that he suggested, it was like, okay. And then he would come up and say, we're gonna do a rehab tour. I would be like, okay. Where are we going? We're going to LA. Okay. I think it's only after the fact that all this time has passed, you realize everything that came about, because when the clinic first started, we would be treating people on the ground, like without the lights. And then I think Vin even was like, you know, to him, the most important thing at that time was like he had to get a TV in the room instead of getting the lights working.
Yeah, we would use a TV light too. You know, a laptop light or TV light to treat people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think back in the day, it was just exciting because every time we'd, meet someone who was like somewhat famous, we would just get so excited because we know that when they reposted us, we'd get like 1,000 followers. Yeah. So the initial momentum was less about this long-term vision, but more about the next day if this like fitness guy was going to reply. And I think the initial thing of Myodetox being so fun was that wasn't really the way that you would do physio, but because we could just do whatever we wanted, it opened up a landscape for people to kind of like make their own brand essentially. And I think back then, without knowing what was happening, that was what was happening. And then now you see all these people who are around, they're trying to be branded physiotherapy at the same time, but in their own way, but also kind of taking elements of what Myodetox has been doing all this time.
Appreciate you, bros. Mr. Chow, was your first interaction?
I think it was back in like 2015, 2016. I was in massage therapy school still, and I was about to graduate. I was trying to figure out like, where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna work? What's out there? I remember scrolling through Instagram. It was one post. I think, actually no, it's because we changed it. We changed Miles' Instagram, but it was like an Asian boy band. It was like Vin. It was like Vin, Joe, yeah, and Alvin, and then Vin's hand was on fire. I was like, holy shit. I was like zooming, I'm like, that's crazy. And then I was like, who are these guys? So I kept scrolling, and then the next picture was like, okay, this is like the perfect intersection of everything that I care about. It was like art with science, with sport and brand. So like, it was, you guys were treating at OVO Bounce. So I saw like the OVO sign, the Jordan symbol, and then the Myo symbol. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So from there, it was kind of just, I was keeping my eye on the brand, on the massage therapist I was working there at the time. I was trying to make sure like, okay, like how does he treat? What's his style? How does he move? And then Hustle Hour was the first encounter that we went through. It was tough because it was just basically like you're in a huge group circle and it was like rapid fire. Like, what's special about you? What's special about you? And you just had to try and stand out. I think in hindsight, it made me so much better, but I didn't get selected the first round. I remember Scott being like, we liked your energy, but you're just too new.
You're a new grad.
Yeah, I was a new, I actually didn't have my license yet, so I was a new grad, and then I took that personally, so I was like, okay, you need experience? All right. Yeah, so I started working 7 days a week. 7 days a week, 4 different clinics. I was lugging my table at like, I was going to Chronic Ink at that time, just treating all the tattoo artists. And then there was one day where Vin was actually getting tattooed at, I forgot, it was a mall. You were getting tattooed by Tristan. Yes. You were gonna just pull up because they were in a store. It was so random. And then, no, it was like I forget.
Yeah, I forget, but I know you're talking
Yeah, and then I was like, yo, that's the perfect opportunity to talk to Vin because like he's literally not going anywhere. He's stuck. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, this is my chance. So I go to Vin, and then I remember just having a really good conversation with him, being like listen, like you don't have to. This is Vin telling me, he's like, you don't have to impress me, but you have to impress the people that you're going to be working with, right? So when you join, like, just make sure that you do everything you can to like take care of your team. So from there, I was like, I took that, put it in my back pocket, and then the other thing that Vin told me before, he was like, any opportunity that comes towards you, just say yes. Like every opportunity that is handed to you, never say no, because the worst thing that you can do is regret not doing it. So I took that into account, and then just went crazy. I was just saying yes to everything. Second round of Hustle Hour was better, but the interview process leading up to it was so intense. Like, I think some people have it so easy nowadays, but they were like, come to we used to do the pro show.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, pull up, and I was like, okay. Pro show, I was starving. Like, it was nonstop, just like, go. They didn't give me a t-shirt. They're like, just wear a black t-shirt, come and start treating. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm treating people 10 minutes. Scott's like, yo, you gotta go faster. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, but I'm like starving. I woke up, I was like, what's going on? But then that was kind of like a true taste of the culture. Because it was like 10 tables, the whole team was out there treating so many people. And I was like, holy shit, this is something special. And then, yeah, from there, the rest was history. Yeah.
I remember you at when we did the Lulu race.
Yes, I was there too.
And
that was like part 2 of.
I we had like 100-person line, and I remember it was like, so all of us were there. And Vin's like going around with his phone like, hey, I got this message for you. Hurry the fuck up. I'm sorry, that gets cut. But hurry up, right? I was like, that was like, I'm like, when we used to do community back in the day, like I remember like the lines we had, crazy.
Yeah.
Remember the pro show the first time you got the next table? I'm like, yeah, but I hadn't even worked here yet either. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Just like, oh.
So the themes are, a lot of us wanted to quit. There is no Myodetox without Instagram. Everybody wanted to throw their collars away, and hustle hour was very important to Myo. So for me, I mean, a bunch of y'all know, like, you know, Vin and I worked at a clinic together before Myo, and for me, so I guess like less of attraction to Myodetox, more of a connection with Vin. I remember starting, and I'm in the khakis, and I was actually in desert boots. So that was my like I'm pushing the edge here, and yeah, I remember the team was like, yeah, you know, we hired a new physiotherapist. He's starting on whatever day it was. I'm like, cool. So I'm in a room treating, and then I hear music playing, like louder than music's ever been played at that clinic before. So I'm like, I guess the new guy's here. So I finish the session. I come out, and Vin's holding like he's playing music off a laptop, like in his hand, shorts, sandals, feet are out, t-shirt, going from room to room. Like, first of all, you just started, so how does he even have people to treat, right? Because like I was the opposite. I didn't get the mill experience. I had to like claw tooth and nail for every single patient because I was in a space of just starting from the ground. So I had the opposite experience of like calling local businesses and like literally that's how we got patients. But like, so some of the first things that I felt was, you know, a lot of what you're saying, the connection of just like the culture, like he's listening to music that I want to listen to. Like you asked me first to come in on a session to give you my opinion. Like we don't even know each other like that. And I'm already feeling like a level of collaboration in physical therapy that like I've never experienced before. Everybody's kind of like, you go in your room, you do your thing, you talk before you start and after, but like there's nothing in between. And we're just like collaborating like, yo, Vin, you want to take a look at this? I'm treating his client while he's treating mine, like lots of probably should be doing, but like, it was just this like level of connection of like, we're gonna learn and grow and push together. And you were just always studying. Like literally always had a book in front of you, always studying. And I saw a lot of like how I wanted to grow in that experience and seeing the way that you showed up. And that was always something that I go back to, like that early energy, like I'm doing a course like next month, like literally over a decade later, the same, like always wanting to get better. Energy is like in my DNA, and a lot of that comes from the early days. So like I saw all of that so early, I'm like, yo, I want to rock with this guy, I want to grow with him. Like he's on a trajectory and he sees the world, like the way humanity in the world could be in a way that I saw for myself. And yeah, man, the rest is history. Long time coming since then. So let's get into some story time. So, some early Myodetox memories for all of us. So I'd love for you all to share. Yeah, like when you think about the early days of Myodetox, like what's the most standout memory that comes to mind? Kick us off, sir. You're like, how can I choose one?
I'm like, all right, so I actually started at our Markham clinic, right, which is our second oldest clinic in the company. And I remember being at that clinic, and it was just like such a different experience. I remember us like treating on like the standard massage tables, but I just remember like the amount of people that would just like come in and like they didn't care whatever the situation was. Like, I know about this Myodetox thing, I want to try it out. So Markham, God bless it, did not have AC in the summer. So I remember at one point there was like 3 of us, and we had the massage tables like set up like a triangle. We had the back door open, we had the front door open, we had us surrounded by fans because it was like a heat wave going on. And like there was 3 clients on, and we had like a rotation like that for like hours. And I'm just like, yo, this thing is different. Like people, this is like some shitty ass conditions, and people are like, I'm still coming and I'm still doing this. So like my earliest experience of Myo was, if you had the mentality that you're just gonna figure things out, you're gonna have success here, right? And I remember feeling like you were given a lot of like autonomy right off the bat, and given a lot of trust, and it was honestly on you to fulfill your potential, right? So I remember that from my first year. I still remember that till now, and I think for me, like that's like the biggest thing I took away from my beginning days of Myo. That, and thank the Lord we have AC now.
Becky G is your first name.
Honestly, like the first and most standout thing, honestly, was like hustle hour, and then coming here to the barbershop. So basically, like John was saying, we were in the same hustle hour actually. There was like 20 of us there. I'm pretty sure you were there. I'm pretty sure Boris was there, Scott and Vin, and it was like, again, show up and just impress. They literally said like, come impress us, and I'm like, great. What does that mean? What do I do? Like, I had like my resumes printed out, thinking I would need those. Like, I should just throw them out because you guys did never look at that. And it was just like, I felt like I was like trying for like the Lakers or something. It was like that feeling of like, if I get chosen, like this is like something crazy. Because I saw it on IG for so long, I was like, this is something I really want to work for. Like I was so, like I was telling my mom, I'm like, I'm applying for this place, it looks really cool. And then like, basically I got the call back, I guess you would say, from like you and Scott. Like, come see us at City Place to like have a second interview. So yeah, I show up, and I remember being like, just confused outside because I come to like basically a townhouse, and I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong location. And again, same idea, I walk in and I was like, hello? Like there's like a barbershop here. They look at me, they're like, Myo? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, go upstairs. So same idea where I was very confused. And like, man, up back then it was like the one room was like the lobby, the share room, which is like basically like a primary bedroom, had 3 tables in it. And there was one like private room. And I'm like, this is the most humble grassroots location, but like it was busy, like so busy. And I'm like, okay, clearly something's working well if like people are coming, same idea, like to these crazy, there's stairs like in a physio clinic.
Yeah, well, crutches, like
literally like zero mobility, the steepest stairs actually ever. Yeah, and I was like, how is it so busy? Like they're clearly doing something right. And I remember just feeling like I need to be a part of this. And then like, I think you sent me after to go like vibe check basically to Davisville, which again, he goes, you can't miss it. You can totally miss it. It was the 9th floor of this old medical building. You had to look on the directory and be like, where is it? The elevator was broken, I think, on the weekly there. And I came for like the vibe check. And the funny thing is like kept all of those things true for when I was like clinic director here for like 8 years. And I kept all those kind of early day things alive for the team here. Like I kind of put them through like mini versions of that to be like, how resilient are you in a sense? And it's like, if you want to work here, kind of prove it. So like, yeah, I really like appreciate those early days of just like, yeah, just having to grind honestly for like everything. Like we had to like get our own clients at Davisville, which is obviously there's no walk by there. So I don't know, it's just like that feeling of like hustling for something you care about. And it like, it builds a lot of resilience and like, I don't know, it's been something special for like the past decade. So yeah.
Appreciate it.
wow.
Sir,
I mean,
most memorable memory.
I have so many. I think one of the ones, because Boris is here, because I haven't seen him in a while, one of my favorite memories of me and Boris is like, we used to compete on who would pre-bill people beforehand. So I would be like, I would go to the front desk and then like, I think Scott was there, and I was like, yo, I just sold 16 sessions in pre-booked 16 sessions. I'd walk away. Boris would come back and be like, yo, I just sold 24, right? And then we would literally just go back and forth, and then Scott at the end would like tally like who sold the most sessions, like like packages essentially. And yeah, that was actually one of the funniest times because we would just like try to one up each other. Obviously, we weren't just selling sessions that people didn't need, But it was just so funny. Like, yeah.
The earliest version of batch booking.
Yeah. The competition between me and Boris was like batch booking to the max, bro. Right?
24 is crazy.
Yeah, no. That's Boris, crazy. I think it was the most 24. I don't even know if you remember. Oh. Yeah, literally probably like in the 30s. I think Boris still has a record. Like, I thought I was fresh, and Boris was like, 30, like up front, take that. Yeah. And I'd be like, how? But yeah, that was like some of my early days, I'd say. I think a mix of everything you guys are saying. I think for me, Myo, the main differentiator, I always thought like my superpower, quote unquote, is like I just care more. You know what I mean? And I feel like anyone who joins the team generally just cares more about the profession, their purpose in this world, themselves, their growth. And then because we think that way, we care about all those things, there's no way that the world will not let us succeed. And I always said that if you move the right way, there's just no way the world is not gonna, oh yes, come on this ladder towards success. Because that's just kind of how the way the world operates, in my opinion. So like that's kind of where I always wanted to instill that energy. And it's not about like beautiful spaces. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have those things. But it's not about, we're doing it on the floor with no lights and we're doing great. We're doing it in spaces where like, why is there steep stairs? We're doing it no AC. We're doing it in the middle of like Toronto Pro Show, like 100 people lineups, that's why I think that we, in the long run of things, like we're gonna, change the world. We are currently, and we'll change.
City Fest.
Yeah, City Fest. Oh my God, City Fest is brutal. I'm still tired from City Fest. Yeah, you just said that. I'm like, oh my God.
Like 400 people.
Yeah, 400 people.
Sunburn.
And then the awesome part about you guys is like, for you to know, it's like when you guys will go to like let's say we ended up opening Singapore, Middle East, all these places, like you'll know that it's because you like toiled away at like NPC, at Davisville, at like all these like shitty places. Right? That's the reason why they get to live a great life.
We like crawled.
We have to crawl so they could run. And they have no idea. They have no idea what you guys had to go through. Right?
But trauma bonded.
Yes, exactly. We're all trauma bonded, yeah. And they're gonna watch this video and be like, oh yeah. We're lucky. Yeah.
I feel like we gotta bring some of that energy back.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure.
yeah, I'm just,
You guys,
tomorrow, just cut off all AC.
how bad do you really want it?
Yeah.
Alex, your
man.
most memorable memory.
I think I have like a good memorable memory, but the context of it is when I got hired, it was like late 2016. Fast forward, Boris was my supervisor, and I ended up failing the national exam, right? So I think I found out like it was like January or something, and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? So I text Scott and Vin, and all I get back is Vin, or I think it was you.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry, we got you. And that was like, that has always resonated with me. But also I'm like, okay, you were like holding me, not Maya holding me back, me getting licensed as being myself held back. And I finally got licensed August 2017. And I'm like, I'm gonna go crazy. Like crazy. Yeah. And like John treated like 7 days in a row. And I honestly think I treated like 50 days straight. And I was just, and like I lived like right around the corner. So it was so easy. I would come in on a Sunday and people would show up. Like I'd open up that morning, get like 5 initial assessments. Like it was nuts. And it got to the point when I remember one day, we would always hang out. We had the round table here. And you would, because you lived upstairs. Yeah. Do you remember when you had the force plate?
Yeah.
And you would carry the force plate around? And I remember one night we were just walking across the force plate back and forth, just like looking at it, like just literally just nerding out. And that was like, if we were done treating at like 9 p.m., Vin came down, it was like 9:15, 9:20 or whatever. We hung out for like an hour and a half and everybody's leaving. There's like probably 5 of us here. Vin's like, okay, like see you guys later. As we're leaving, we like open the door and someone comes in. It's like, oh, someone for Vin. It's just a client. Vin's like going and treating upstairs at like 11 p.m.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Fast forward, and I think this was the same night. And then I get home and Vin texts me. He's like, hey, like, you free for a minute? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I just got home. And that was the night we drove up to the Umoro office and did some photo shoot until like 5 in the morning. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I think we went to like LA like 2 days later or something like that. It was just the craziest week of my life. But it was like so fun. Yeah, like it was so fun. Like the energy was so palpable. Yeah, that's like easily my core memory.
You just like pull up and be like, who wants to learn?
Yeah. It's just like if you want to like, when you're trying to do something big, you know what I mean? It's like you're literally like pushing uphill. You know what I mean? In order to get the thing to just like roll on its own, you have to like, people don't understand how much energy is required to do that, right? And how much energy, how many people, We got to be coordinated. We got to push together. We got to motivate each other. Someone's gonna fall. We're gonna be like, yo, we got you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're chugging Red Bull, like, yeah. Yeah, just people don't, they want to do big things, but they don't want to like put in big effort, and then, sacrifice. And I was always willing to do it. Like, no matter what it took, I was willing to do it. Right?
You did vacation for like, what, 8 years?
I did vacation for 8 years. I remember being in Greece, watching Black Coffee in Mykonos, and I'm like, why am I not working right now? Right? literally, that was like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, I was like, this is weird. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, it was surreal. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Vacation is nice. Yeah.
Boris, your first memorable memory.
It's got to probably go back to even just when I first met Vin. I think I've told this story so many times too.
I love the story though.
But my friend, he's a physio too, and he saw Vin's job posting on Kijiji. And it was so funny because it says, looking for physio, like, that was it. That's literally the job posting. looking for physio downtown or something like that. Yeah. And then I think, I didn't see it. It was my friend who saw it. And he said, I'm going to meet this guy. His name is Vin. He's some Vietnamese guy. And like, he lives close to you. And I think at the last moment, he said, I can't make it. If you want, do you want to go talk to him? So I'm like, yeah, sure. And then at that point, I was just graduated from physio and I had my license. So I was looking for work, but I was just kind of, just meeting people. And then I remember when I didn't even talk to Vin at that point. I just was told that to come at this time to show up and talk to him. So I knock on the door, like the exact same door. And then I don't know if Vin answered the door or somebody else answered the door. But they were like, yeah, he's upstairs. And then I'm like, okay. And I'm like dressed up in like a full suit with like dress shoes and everything.
Was it like, I feel like it was like a pink tie. Though.
I don't even know. I didn't wear a tie, but I like buttoned everything up. Yeah. And I was like ready for an interview or something. But then when I go upstairs, I didn't even meet Vin again because Vin was treating somebody. So I was like, first impression was, this guy told me to come here to talk to him, and then he's busy working. And he sent, I forget what his name is, Tyler or somebody. It was Vin's business partner at the time. And then he literally took me to what used to be the lobby or the front desk. And he just put a chair down. He's like, all right, you're going to start treating me. I'm going to let Vin know if you're good or not.
Yes, I do remember Tyler.
He's like, I have shoulder pain or something. I'm like, okay. And then I literally have not even seen a patient before. I'm like, yeah. And I probably saw like one person in my whole life. And I was just starting to do all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, does that feel good or whatever? He's like, yeah, it's good, man. And then he's like, yeah, over there. And I was just pressing really hard. Like really hard. And he's like, yo, this guy's good. And Vin hasn't even come out to greet me yet. And I think at the time when Vin was done, he actually waited he probably came like half an hour later when he was actually done with his patient. And then when I talked to him, this kind of like went back to the point where he was complaining to me for like 2-3 hours about how he hated using ultrasound and like machines on people. And I was just like, yeah, man, like that's not how it's supposed to be. And then I think at some point it got dark and he's like, yo, you hungry? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna order pizza. Then he orders pizza and then the pizza arrives, we're eating. And instead of ordering cans of pop, this guy orders like a 2-liter bottle of Coke. And he just starts drinking it. And he hands it over to me. I'm like, I don't even know this guy. I don't even know if I'm... And then I think at the end of the night, I think it was probably three hours later, it was kind of like, yo, so like, am I going to work here? He's like, yeah, you're going to work here. So the whole time, we weren't really even like talking about like working here or like this job thing. He's just telling me about physio and what his frustrations were. And then at the end of the night, he's like, yeah, you're going to work here, man. I'm like, okay. And at that point, that was when I remember when Vin, he was treating the patient. And I was like, when I went into the room, I was like there's nothing here. It's literally just a carpet and it's dark. And Vin was saying like, yo, somebody forgot to bring my yoga mat. So the patient was on the carpet without even like a yoga mat in between. So I think at that point, I don't even remember what I thought. I just said, okay, yeah, I got a job now. And then Vin was like, yeah, you're going to be so busy. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm excited, And I think I left and I was like, I don't know what the hell just happened because I like ate Domino's pizza with this guy and he's handing me a bottle of 2-liter Coke. And then he's also telling me that he's famous on like Instagram, and he treated this guy named Timberwolf, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, man.
That's pretty cool.
And I think that's it. That was the first memory, and then there's so many more after that. Like, like we did these fitness expos, and Vin made me drive from like San Jose to like Vegas in like the middle of the night. Like we crashed the car. We were doing these rehab tours, and I'd be having a nosebleed. He's like, "Yo, just like put like just keep going." it's like midnight. Yeah, it's like midnight. Yeah, it's like, and then like he'd run these evolution programs, and I'd come to work one day, and then this Japanese guy's like sleeping on the couch. Is Yuki sleeping on the bench? I'm like, yo, who are you? And the guy can't speak English, so he's just like doing this. And he's like, oh, like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and then Vin shows up like later in the afternoon. So this guy's already been walking around doing stuff, watching what we're doing. Like he's like shadowing what we're doing, but we don't even know he's supposed to. And then Vin shows like, oh yeah. He's like, he's supposed to be here. But yeah, there's so many more. But like those are.
Appreciate you sharing, boys.
Here's a short story of just the car accident. Like, we were basically driving back, and then I could tell Boris was tired, but then he's like, no, I just drank this energy drink. I'm good. I'm like, yo, bro, you sure you're good? He's like, no, I got this. I'm good. Right? And then we're driving. Where were we driving to?
We're driving to Vegas.
To Vegas.
For that Arnold sports show.
Yeah. So we're driving there, and I'm falling asleep in the back, and then Josh was in the front. Shout out to Josh one time. Josh was in the front, and then I was like laying like fully, like this on the back seat, and Boris sadly fell asleep at the wheel, and then I literally remember like flying into the roof, right? I went up and down, right? And then they used to love candies, so they were like Sour Patch candies that were half open bags in the back seat, and the flew everywhere, all right? And I woke up like I'm like, what the hell? And I was like dazed. I wasn't concussed or anything. Like just my elbow was hurting because I just like bumped my elbow and like that. and then yeah, and we have a video of it. But
That's crazy.
Wow.
John, what you got for us, sir?
Yeah, that's hard to follow. But that's really funny. I don't know. I think a lot of it goes back to obviously Davisville days, but now I feel like Davisville is like a dream compared to treating on the carpet, which is insane. But yeah, Davisville was my first like memories of Myo. It was probably the worst building ever. Every day you would kind of like pray that you would make it on time for your client, because there would be 2 elevators. One would always be down, and then everyone going into the elevator was like 90 years old and just like on a walker. And I was like, yo, do I take the stairs? Or I know. And then I take the stairs and I'm fucking sweating. And I was like, hey, how are you? Yeah, they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But yeah, that's like those days of just trying to make things work. I remember there's more fond memories of like actually in City Place of whenever there was like a full house. There was one time where we had a conflict in our schedule, and I like overbooked someone, and I was like scrambling. I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Luckily, we had like portable tables, and I literally just grabbed the table and treated it in the hallway. And I was like, I pray to God this client isn't gonna like report me because it's so sketchy. So I was treating her. It was all good, but there's just like things like that where like you do whatever it takes, right, to like make sure the client gets taken care of. Yeah, I have another story with, I mean, I told you guys this earlier, but I want it on record, but I was training with Vin, so we're in the shared room. The curtain room upstairs, and then I'm working on Vin, and he's like, yo, like, do it like this, so he's teaching me, and then he's like, you know what, just get on the table. So I took my shirt off, get on the table, Vin's treating, and then we're just like flip-flopping back and forth. And then I get a buzz on my phone, and they're like, you got a new booking. And I was like, okay, cool. And then Hard comes in, opens the curtain, it's like, hey, John, I want you to meet the client that I just booked you with. He's gonna be in your schedule. I'm fucking shirtless. And I go up to this guy, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like looking at me, and he's like looking at Vin, and I was like, oh shit, this is so awkward. I swear, 30 seconds later, cancellation from that same client. I was like, oh man, this is so bad. Yeah, but it's just like, you know, like we just train whatever hours, just you want to get good, you just do whatever it takes. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, so I was living in Scarborough at the time still. Working downtown was like a big deal. To like drive into the city, like this wasn't paid parking yet, so you never could find a parking spot. People just leave their cars for days. And I was telling y'all earlier, I didn't know that there was as much visitors parking downstairs as there actually was. So it would always be stressful to park up. But I remember this one, it was a Monday. Then you probably don't remember this, but you had this checkbook and you used to actually handwrite checks.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Monday.
I hated that. Yeah, I hated it.
So back then, bro, there's like no systems, no Excel. Like you literally counting like manually every single person you saw. I'm doing the math in my head, like how much the paycheck should be. So I go to Vin. Vin's writing me the check. He writes it down and just like that's not the number. It's actually this number. Yeah, whatever. That's cool. Crosses it out. Puts the number that I said it was. Like. Sidebar, like your level of like trust with like people and the team has like always been at a level. But so after that, you're like, yo, what are you doing later? I'm like, I'm probably just gonna go home. Like, you wanna go out tonight? Like, okay, cool. So you showered down here. I showered. A lot of people don't know our day one clinic has like literally full bathrooms. It's an actual condo. So we both showered, and then it was a Monday night. So where did we go?
Lost and found.
Lost and found. Lost and found.
Lost and found. Yeah.
So I remember driving home and I'm like, this is this life? Like I remember feeling like this is not okay, but Kevin, you didn't do anything illegal. You can go to work. I guess it's cool to shower at work and like go out to Monday night party with your coworkers. Like, what's wrong with that? I remember just being like, I like this. Like, I like the energy. Like you said, it's fun. It was just like, yeah, just didn't envision a world in physical therapy where like it's a vibe. I'm hanging out with my people. We're going out after. It's like, it's just not something I could have ever dreamed working in this world would have been like. And yeah, whenever I think about early days, it's always like Vin crossing out the number on the check, us going to Lost and Found. I probably spent everything I made on that check that night at Lost and Found. But yeah, man. Yeah, like I said on the outset, we can have this conversation for like 3-4 hours. But yeah, as we wrap up here, like obviously we all shared, you know, day one, earliest memories, and then fast forward 10 years later, 10 years at the time of all of these memories, none of us had kids. John, I know you don't yet, but I know you got a dog. So yeah, you busy. You busy, but yeah. Then I mean, a lot of us are 1-2 kids in. Just brought a second one into the world. Got one coming soon. 9 p.m. on a weekday to hang like this. It ain't like it used to be. So yeah, I really appreciate y'all carving out time. But if y'all think about, you know, your maturation over the last 10 years, and you think about the next 10 years for Myo, this next upcoming decade, like, what do you want to see for Myo, the brand? What are you excited about? Like, where do you want to see this thing go in the next 10 years?
So obviously we had that rebrand this year, and I think something that keeps like really sticking out to me about the rebrand is the term modern physical therapy. I think it's like really catchy. I think it's really clever. But the more the way I kind of think about it is like, I don't know, we started off with like all our stories. And I think these are still like prevalent stories. And I think we're very lucky. We found our way in this industry. I think there's a lot of PTs, chiros, RMTs that will never find their way and never feel the value that we feel and like the difference that we can make. So like 10 years from now, like a stat I always go back to is like only 8% of North America utilizes our services like ours. I feel like we could be what Colgate was for the dental industry. I feel like Myo could be that for the modern physical therapy industry. So I feel like I want to be like, hey, like I got a PT, I got a chiro, I got an RMT on staff, right? I'm doing my daily exercises, right? I'm just like taking care of my body. I think we will help a lot of these new grads coming out find purpose and really make a difference in the world. So that's what I envision for my own 10 years.
Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, it's crazy because like when we started, I was like my late 20s. Now in my late 30s, I literally have 2 kids, and like it's crazy just like how much we've all grown. But then it still feels like the same. Like I haven't lost my passion at all for like this company, and I feel like if anything, it's growing. Like the creativity. Like I literally redid this pretty much like location just because I care so much about like, you know, making sure the team feels taken care of and everything. And I feel like what I really hope for is that like we're able to maintain that like just that feeling that we all have for Myo, but with a newer generation. I think it's hard to like expand, but then keep what makes us special. So I really just see us like honestly being in a bunch of different countries and like cities, a lot more, you know, clinics and whatnot. But I just want to make sure that we're like all still feel like that passion, that innovation that brought us here, and that feeling of like we're doing something special, because we honestly are. Like it's kind of crazy when you just think about like what we're able to do, how many people we see every year. Like it's actually insane. So just basically being able to do that on a bigger scale, and like, you know, bringing back things like Myo Global and just opportunities that have been really unique to us. I think like just doing more of that basically. Yeah. And we'll be like closer to 50, which is.
Saviors, sir, saviors.
Yeah.
You'll close this out.
It's gonna be grandiose.
Yeah, the next 10 years, I think one thing I always like to say is like within the clinic, and like I honestly say within the company, it's kind of like almost like a sandbox. Like build whatever you want, try stuff out, fail, that's okay. Just learn from it. And I think kind of building off what you guys are saying, like I just think there's so many different arms of the company that are going to continue to develop that we don't even know of yet necessarily. And we're just going to continue to get great people on our team, and they're going to have good ideas. And we're going to be like, oh yeah, we should do that. We should do this. And I mean, just to keep it short, I would say I would love to see this conversation in 10 years with just people who are just starting on our team. Like they're the ones narrating that conversation. Like that's what I would love to see. To build on Rebecca's, like keep that alive and like the core of like what the company is, being like the people.
And then we sit where Sonny's sitting,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
we watch the movie. We watch the movie. Appreciate it. Boris, yeah, I know you're no longer working with us day to day, but I know you're watching us from the outside. What do you see for us in the next 10 years?
I'd say that when I had left, the brand was still very. I guess the first iteration was, you know, it was a brand that was kind of birthed out of like the fitness industry, and then it kind of was also really targeted about kind of like that demographic. And over the years, I think even I couldn't really have imagined that, like the amount of sort of effort it took to remove like the detox out of the brand name, because it was like it was looking at the old brand books, that was like sort of the entire ethos of kind of what Vin brought to the company. And now that the company's Myo, even though it might have been hard to take away the rest of the name, I think for the next 10 years, it just makes the brand a lot more approachable to sort of anyone who wants to get in and not maybe feel like intimidated with how to use physio, you know, like how to access a service where you don't have a problem to begin with, but you want to figure out like how to optimize your body or something like that. I think the next 10 years is going to be a big focus on like young people, because they seem to have like different values with how they approach health versus maybe people who are kind of older. Well, I don't want to say older, but it seems like to me like younger people now have a better appreciation for why they should be healthy. And I think that they're using stuff like this before things like, before they get injured, for example. I think the brand is going to keep evolving. I think that they are still like the leader in terms of bringing and packaging physio into a concept that people can understand what they're getting when they come here. And I think there's a lot of people who look at Myo as like the leader, and they take all the formulations of like how they come up with the branding, the communication, and sort of almost like take it for themselves and run like an independent clinic. So I think that in this regard, like Myodetox will keep like innovating in terms of how they communicate to the to the potential customer or like the client or like, you know, the community as to like what they're trying to do.
Thank you, sir. John, we want to see this in 10 years.
10 years, yeah, to echo a lot of what you guys were saying, like I'm curious to see what the conversation looks like 10 years from now and who's sitting in this room. But I think it's special to kind of be a part of this and see that it's a company that's growing so fast, but it's growing without a blueprint. Like we're literally making the blueprint as we go each day. So there's a lot of excitement of like, this can literally go anywhere. Like there's so many avenues that we can go down. I want Myo to be like the no-brainer. I see Myo logo. I know if I walk in there, it's a wrap. Like I'm good. I'm taken care of. The experience is going to be A1, and everyone walking in, walking out feels amazing. I want to, selfishly, I would love for Myo, like the merch, and see the merch over there. Like that's one thing that I'm super passionate about. Like I want the merch to grow and see if we can kind of go down fashion, lifestyle, any of that stuff, because that is part of day-to-day life. And yeah, that's something that I would love for Myo to try and explore and see if that's a possibility. But like I said, blueprint is literally being made, so we can, if anyone can do it, we can do it.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, for me, I'd say like in 10 years, like the category would be like actually defined. Like when people hear physical health, oral health, mental health, gut health, like all of these other like categories that people have this idea in their mind of like what it looks like, it's like a blank canvas right now. And in 10 years, when you say physical health, like there's clear thoughts that pop up into people's minds, and like their solution IQ is higher, and how they pour into physical health is like a real thing. Because the category just feels like a very blank canvas. And I feel like on the way over the next 10 years to get there, it's like, it's innovation. Like it is like, I don't know what that looks like, but I know it's gonna be, like the category is gonna get built on things today that exist in physical therapy that we can't even see, because we're gonna have to like break some things and do things that have never been done before to actually like establish the category. But in 10 years, physical health is a category, and we would have been like the pioneers that built the category. Take us home, sir. 10 years.
Man, I mean, you guys have said so many of my thoughts. So I think I'll not necessarily go in a different direction, but I think it's just more like, you know, the story that I always use when I'm on these podcasts is like, you know, when my mom immigrated, like, you know, escaped the Vietnam War and then landed in Edmonton, she was like 26 years old, give or take, and then she had never brushed her teeth ever in her life. Right, so you can imagine how bad her teeth was. Nowadays, you know, you guys are, everyone here is either a parent or about to be a parent, or maybe, you know, in the future. You know, you can't imagine a world where you're not teaching your kids how to brush their teeth or take care of their dental health. You know, it's just insane, right? And you know, it's, you know, you can also imagine what my mom, like her teeth looked like. It was just like a mess. She had to get like 8 teeth removed permanently. She has dentures now because of that. All from choices she made, not because she didn't want to brush her teeth, because she didn't know it was a thing. So similarly, in my lifetime, like, you know, we're all therapists, you know, in this room. It's like, people come to you and they're like, my spine hurts. And it's like that you're 35 years old, and I'm like, oh, so what have you done for your spine for the last 35 years? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, cool. So, you know, and so then now it's like, you know, our profession is like kind of given this impossible task to take care of someone who's never taken care of their body ever, or have no concept of like how to move, or they have like bits and pieces based on like geographically where they're from, or like their influences, or like their choice of hobbies. And it's just such a mess, to be quite honest with you. And then now you have the lack of knowledge being a problem, and on the back end you have like these universities, and I'm not trying to blame the universities, but like people are just trying to do their best, essentially teaching our generation how to do things, and they teach Boris to come just press harder on the shoulder. You know what I mean? In his interview, all right? And you know, it's just so messy. So I would definitely see like in the next 10 years, and hopefully, you know, we're able to like make a lot of traction in that, you know, in that problem for the world. It's like, how do we teach the whole population how to better take care of their body, give them better information so they can actually find the right practitioners, and also be an inspiration from a therapist's perspective, and then show the world of therapy what high-level therapy and care look like, right? Innovate in the space, and also maybe to some point even like redo curriculums in schools, right? And then create more advanced training, and then create, you know, you love to do, you know, global projects, you know, and the entire world needs this, you know? So I always talk about this. I don't think in my lifetime that I'll see this to completion, but like, I'm happy to say that, you know, the people in this room were the guys that started it, guys, you know, so it's like, it's yeah, so that's kind of what I see this. And then this is a sidebar story, but like, I was sitting with some of my friends recently, and they're like in tech, and they're in different spaces. And I'm like, hey, listen, like imagine like when we're like 80 years old, right? And let's say we need a walker, right? Do we really want to use one of these walkers with like tennis balls at the bottom of the thing? Like, no, like we grew up on like Apple computers and all these like well-designed things. Like, who's creating like the wheelchairs, walkers, canes of like when we're gonna get old? Because mine's gonna be like chromed out and like, you know what I mean? Like spinners. I don't know. Like, who's doing that? And I feel like Myo is someone that, you know, as a company can tackle those other issues where it's like, how do you redesign the whole like medical device category? Because again, these industries have never been touched, have never been redesigned ever, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what the future looks like to me, in my brain anyways.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Well, again, appreciate y'all carving out time. Like, everybody's super busy. I know it's late on the weekdays, but yeah, incredible moment to celebrate 10 years. And I mean, on behalf of this whole group, as we wrap up, like, yes, there's story time, and then there's also like, you know, appreciation and celebration. You know, Vin, you might want to give out some of your flowers, but on behalf of this group, yourself, Scott, like, it's a lot of work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for everybody in this room, but a lot of opportunities and experiences that wouldn't have come otherwise. We wouldn't have seen or touched if y'all didn't put your head down and really just like lay the path. And I know sometimes the path ahead of y'all could get really dark. You don't necessarily see where you're going, and a lot of people are dependent on y'all to find some glimmers of light. And a lot of us have experienced incredible things that we wouldn't have seen otherwise for ourselves without the work and effort that y'all put into building this thing these last 10 years. Appreciate you, Scott. I know you're out there probably grinding for the company right now, somewhere out there. We appreciate y'all laying the path down. If you want to take it.
I mean, you know, one of the main things that I'm very appreciative of all you guys in this room and everyone who's with the company, especially the early days people, because in the early days, it was like straight up like a vision, and it was very unclear, and I literally didn't have an idea what the fuck I was doing, to be quite honest with you. You know what I mean? I just knew generally like my body was just pulling me in this certain direction, and I just saw this global issue, and I just said, you know what, like, why am I here on this planet? Let me try to solve this, you know? And then, yeah, I was able to galvanize an army of 400 of us so far, you know what I mean? And obviously collect the generals, and then you guys are in turn galvanizing your troops, you know, and then we're still, you know, the vision is a little bit clearer, but you know, it's still really tough to take on these massive global issues, and then believing in someone like me who like wears slippers and like, you know, whatever. I'm a messy person in general, so I'm really appreciative of all of you guys. And then like, yeah, like that's it. Let's go do this. All right, job's not done. Let's go.
Thank you, sir. That's it. It's a wrap. Thank y'all, gents behind the cameras. Y'all were entertained. Y'all were laughing for the session, man.
Sonny, any feedback for us? You're the new guy.
Sonny's not even like there.
Tell us something.